Coach, you came from the WXV1 last year into the WXV2, and a lot of expectation coming into this tournament, and you go on to win it in that manner. Can you just take us through the journey, of having to pick the girls up from WXV1 disappointment coming into this tournament? What was it like? What were some of the challenges you faced, and how proud are you of the team?
Firstly, exceptionally proud of everyone, like players and staff alike. Everyone's worked exceptionally hard since January, and I think it was always tough going into Pack 4, which ultimately ended up meaning we were in WXV2. We didn't get much prep going into that at all. We had like 8 days together and then into that comp, which is always going to be a challenge. And we have learned and developed as a group so much over the last sort of 6 months. The group and never kind of question things. They just pull together. And although we weren't getting the results on field early on, no one ever questioned that. They could see the growth that we were still making in certain areas of our game and off field. And that's kind of meant that we've managed to get these 3 wins at this comp. And WXV2 is not an easy competition to be playing rugby in. There's some really good sides here, sides that are really experienced. They've been full-time for a number of years. We didn't come into this competition taking it lightly in any shape or form. We knew that we had to be absolutely on top of our game and to step up to be able to get the wins that we have.
So congratulations to the Wallaroos and also qualifying for the World Cup. Just your thoughts on the whole campaign for you, and especially having been hosted here in Cape Town. How was the whole experience for you? Going to the captain.
Yeah. Experience here in Cape Town has been incredible over the last 3 weeks. Everywhere we've been, we've had a really warm welcome. Facilities been great. We've been really well looked after. I think for us, obviously, having the 2 warm-up games prior to WXV was a real benefit, although the results weren't probably what we would have liked to have seen. I think we learned a lot from those, both on the field and off the field. And then for the girls to group together, coaching staff to stay with us, keep consistent with their messaging, and for the girls to come out over the last 3 weeks with the performance they have, it's pretty special. And yeah, incredibly proud of the group. I think we've learnt a lot. We've still got a lot to learn, probably a lot from that game to take away and learn from as well, but I think we're heading in the right direction, and it's a pretty good place to be at the moment leading into World Cup next year.
And just to the coach, in terms of your preparation for the World Cup, do you feel you are on track, and are there things that you need to work on still to get you ready for that World Cup next year?
Yeah, there's 100% still things for us to work on, and it's an ongoing. We're obviously, as a nation, we've only got 84, 85 tests in total. Our most capped player tonight was on 33. Yeah. So we have to really accelerate our game understanding and our learning to be able to catch up with these other countries, because the talent is there and the desire is there. We just need to really, really focus on our kind of game management and how we work on that.
Skipper, can you talk us maybe through your relationship, the team's relationship with the management, the coach, assistant coach, and so forth? How influential have they been in this tournament in particular, on the team? Some of the calls and the decisions they've made. How would you say the type of influence they've had?
Yeah, it's been a really big year for us. We've had a lot of changes through management as a whole, all of our coaching staff, S&C staff. Even to a lot of our sort of sideline staff, and a lot of changes within players as well. But I think the whole group's come together, and management in particular has been really influential in how we work together on the field and off the field. We've had a really big emphasis this year on building those relationships and that connection, because when you're playing a sport like rugby and you're putting your body on the line for 80, 90 minutes, that's such a crucial part of it. And I think the compassion and the just the pure passion and joy that the staff have come in with this year, a lot of fresh faces, new faces in the playing group as well. Everyone's excited, everyone wants to learn, everyone wants to work hard for each other. And I think when you get to the last 10 minutes and it's a game like that, you can see that out there. And in games like this and test match footy, I think that can be sometimes the difference in those last final minutes. So it's been incredibly important for us. I think, management as a whole has come in with a really positive influence on the group, and a great group of girls as well makes it all that much easier.
The women's game is growing, and there's lots of room for growth as well. And I think we need more men to come into the space to support. How special was it for somebody like Sia Kulisi to hand over your jerseys, but also to show interest, genuine interest in the women's game?
Yeah, I think that's incredibly special. Someone of Sia's backing in the rugby world, and I think just global community is it's really special. And for him to come in over the last couple of weeks and, as you mentioned, show a genuine interest, know our players by name, know what their strengths are, know what they've done in recent games, and to turn up on a week off after a long campaign himself and with the Springboks, I think that's pretty special. And it sends a pretty cool message to the rest of the world that there's something exciting happening in the women's space in rugby at the moment. And I think we've seen that with competitions like WXV starting up, more games across the globe, more teams added to World Cup next year. It's a really exciting spot and it's moving forward quite fast. So for him to get on board, support it, call out the rest of the world to get behind us as well, it's really special. And hopefully it's caught a couple of eyes and everyone else is ready to stick around now for the journey.
Coach, women's rugby is very competitive at this point in time. I mean, WXV1 is going down to the wire today. A lot of results that have been shocking a lot of people. When you look at your team and where you are now, are you sort of excited about the journey ahead, heading into the World Cup? And, are you looking at other teams, trying to learn what other teams are doing and so forth?
Yeah, firstly, really excited about the group of players that we've got and the work that's ahead of us, because just emphasise, we've had these 3 wins, but there's still so much to learn. But the real big focus is, we have to control what we can control. So looking at other teams is one thing, but we have always said, and through this tournament, it's all about focusing on ourselves and getting what we need to get right. There's no point in looking what other people are doing if we're not nailing our basics, fundamentals, whatever you like to call them. And that's been a real big focus from us from day one.
Massive squad effort as well, Joe. Like, there's obviously been injured players throughout the year and players back home.
Yeah, and we came into this tournament. Unfortunately, we've had 4 players leave us, and it's taken a massive squad effort. And I think for me, and that's what makes me so proud of this group, is from 1 to 34, particularly for this tournament. But not only that, the players that we've left at home, the players that are injured at home, fighting to get back in. Like none of these results would be possible without everybody, and we've put a big emphasis on that. Like our non-playing squad have a massively positive influence on those that are playing and influence today's result just because they weren't on the field. So for me, that's kind of part of the culture that we're trying to build.
Mac, it's the first time the Warriors have ever won 3 games in a row, which is pretty cool. As captain, though, that must be pretty special personally too.
Yeah, a stat I probably actually wasn't aware of, but I think it's incredibly special, and I think testament to where this group is going and the work we've put in over the last few months. I think also a huge testament to, I guess, improvements in the program that we've had through RA, more time together, the ability to get in for training camps, which previously we haven't had. And I think the ability to play 10 games for the past 2 years in a row, it's huge for us. And I think with that consistency of coaching staff, with the depth, although unfortunately through some injuries we've been able to grow by bringing players in, it just makes us that much stronger in all positions across the board. So I think, has a huge role to play in the last 3 weeks and the success of that.
Just lastly, Coach, do you think performances like these and results like these sort of, send a message to Australia as a whole? Because I understand down under there's a lot of competition for eyeballs, a lot of sports, rugby league and so forth. Do you think it sends a strong message that, we are also out here, look at us, look at what we're doing?
Yeah, and I think not only the results and the way the girls have played on field, which is they played some incredible rugby, but just rugby union as a whole, like the opportunities that rugby union gives you that you don't get in a lot of other sports is a global game. And we've been out here, we've been in South Africa, we've been to Ireland, we've been to Wales, and these players are developing as people as well because of the experiences that they're getting, and it's been amazing to see them grow, and it's amazing to see them out in the communities, working with some of the young people in the schools and things. It's been awesome, and that's something that rugby union gives you. So, for me, I just think it's an amazing sport. These guys have got friends all over the world that play for different teams, and that's what makes it so special.
Just finally from me, how good was it to hear the crowd chant Aussie, Aussie, Aussie? And just your message to the South African public in terms of even their support to you.
Yeah, I won't lie. I hope the coaches didn't notice from up in the box, but I think I actually turned around at one point and almost waved to them. But it's been an incredible atmosphere both this week and last week. The crowd have been amazing. I think every time you review and it pans to the crowd, people are singing, people are dancing, and for home crowds have got behind us, from people from different nations who have got behind us tonight. It's those little things that get you that little bit over the line when you're feeling tired and when it's been a rough day. So incredibly thankful to everyone in the stands tonight that got behind us. Incredibly grateful and thankful to everyone back home that stuck with us. Incredible atmosphere and reception everywhere we've been. So great time here in Cape Town.
Yeah, I just want to echo that, because the South Africans have really got behind us, and as much as we've enjoyed, like, we've taken so much from the visits we've had, and then to see that crowd tonight support us, it really meant a lot, and I know it really lifts the girls. So a massive thank you to all the people that came out to support. It's been awesome to see the crowds come in over the last couple of weeks.
Smiling, congratulations on the win, Mac and Joe, from a very early morning here in Brisbane. I missed the first section of that when you attempted it, so I apologise. But very quickly, I'm sure it's been covered, Mac, a massive achievement for the Wallaroos, a first major piece of silverware, particularly the modern era around WXV. Can you speak very briefly to the pride in that achievement and the confidence that brings ahead of 2025 World Cup?
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud to be part of this group. We've got 30, 40, 50 incredible women in this program at the moment, and 30 people who will put their bodies on the line and work for each other day in, day out. So, as you mentioned, first opportunity and first time coming away with silverware. Definitely my time in the jersey. It's an incredible honour to be part of it. Seeing everyone's faces, the celebrations, the cheers, the hugs, the tears on the sideline after that makes every part of blood, sweat and energy over the last 12 months and longer worth it. So incredibly proud. I know there's a lot still to come from us and a lot that we can still move forward and push for. So really excited and I guess grateful that we get another opportunity come the new year to see where we can go.
And Joe, you mentioned your pride in the players' achievements, but it also seems there's a big focus on the human element and how they're all developed as people. Can you speak a little to that, please?
Yeah, I think for us from day one, the focus on kind of developing players as people as well as on field has been a real focus. The culture side of it has been really important to us. How we connect as a group off field has been huge, and to see the relationships grow amongst the squad and to see how they've connected, especially over the last few weeks, has been awesome to see. And I think when it comes down, and Max said earlier, to those last few minutes, and it did it in South Africa and we did it again tonight, but they get behind each other and they've got each other's backs, and that's something that comes from that time together, that connection. It's not always technical and tactical, and that's been a real big focus for us.
Thanks very much for your time and enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you.